Hello, all. We are back for part two for the Queen. This game is so good.
Yeah, it's been getting kind of wild and weird, hasn't it?
Yeah. Spider people and
Spider people.
Queen's ambush and pretenders to the holding lands. Yeah,
So many, so many.
I
Well, I
like
hope
it.
everybody in chat's been enjoying it. Great comments, and let's keep it going, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I need to do a thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
what thing?
Everybody just like hang
Thing.
out while Sean does the thing.
Do the
It's all
thing.
good. I'm not just trying to kill time right now at all.
Sean's great at
Ha,
doing things. One of his
so
best
many
skills.
things.
Yeah. Uh
Ah,
absolutely. It's okay, cool. Now I'm ready to switch this over. Awesome.
yeah.
Let's do that. All right. And I think, speaking of doing things, my turn to do this thing. Draw a card. There's someone else in this retinue you love besides the queen.
Oh.
How and why are you keeping it a secret?
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. I can see a couple different possibilities here.
Yeah.
I feel like Ken, if the bodyguard was the person I love, then it puts a really interesting twist on you having the knowledge that I'm not who I say I am, or not that I'm not
Yeah.
who I say I am, but that my lineage is
Yeah.
more complicated.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I feel like that's the most complicated answer to this question.
Yeah.
So it's what I want to go with.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Can
Yeah.
you secretly love me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that we had an affair
Ooh.
years ago.
Right. When you were still trying to build up everything after you had left.
Exactly, right. And
Yeah.
affair isn't even the right word. I think we had a relationship. I don't think there was
Oh,
anything like illicit about it.
there was nothing illicit about it. It was good faith.
It was in
as
good
it were.
faith. But it was at a time when neither one of us had the roles that we do now. And
Mhm.
now that we are sort of sworn to the queen, we're sworn to love her above all else. And it's been a while. We haven't been together for a while, so it's no longer
Yes.
appropriate to talk about it. But my feelings haven't changed.
Yeah.
I feel like I am still holding a torch,
Okay.
holding a candle. There's a phrase for it. Carrying a thing.
Well,
Hmm.
holding a torch, carrying a torch is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
carrying a torch.
Men
Yeah.
with flames.
Yeah.
Flames on the side of my face.
So I think I was
Um,
very eager to see you on this journey because I think it's the first time we've seen each other in a while.
okay, cool.
Is that
And
all?
I'm weirded out by you because I have this secret about you. So I've
Yeah,
been very like sort of standoffish, maybe. Yeah,
I
I
think
don't know.
so.
Because I
Um,
mean when we knew each other was after my own punishment and fall from grace, I would say.
I think so.
We were
I
in
think
the
it's when we were both kind of
hinterlands.
we were both in like this low point in our lives and we
Exactly.
found each other and it was a good
Hmm.
time and I
It
don't
was
want to let
great.
that go. Why am I keeping it a secret? I think I'm
Mm,
keeping it a secret because of the queen's sort of insistence on, I don't want to say insistence on perfection, but like that nothing is done halfway. And if we're on this journey and we're doing this thing, I think a lot of this journey is because of the information that I brought her. Um, and uh, and so I don't want her to think that there's any part of me that is distracted from it or that I have
uh,
ulterior motives.
Mhm.
Um, and the way I'm keeping it a secret, there's a lot to this question.
yeah.
How are you keeping it a secret? Um, I'm gonna say poorly. Um, I think I'm not very good at it. I think my eyes like linger on you.
Ooh, okay.
I think I'm
So it's
trying to be
obvious.
cool, but I'm
All
not.
right.
I
All
think the
right.
secret is like, unless you're like a governess who thinks the queen can do no wrong and like don't
Yeah.
see anything
I
in this, like you gotta be like, what is happening here?
so this puts more of a pressure on me because I know that you might die in this ambush.
Mm.
So I need to tell you the truth about your lineage and it's clear that your feelings for me. And so I guess for me, I've taken to be like super polite, but like very cold,
Distant,
and,
yeah.
like distant. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think that leaves me really at a loss, really, really, really kind of floundering emotionally. So I dig it. Yeah, that's good.
I dig it. That's exactly where I want to be.
All right. All right.
Okay.
I'm feeling we need to rebound off the queen, so you go with her future bodyguard. Yeah.
Why are some others at the royal court jealous of your relationship with the queen? I don't really think that makes sense for me to answer, so I want to hear your answer, Ken.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Rourke. Yeah, let's talk about it. All right, so with the failed bodyguard, why are some others at the royal court jealous of my relationship with the queen? I think that I think they are jealous because I am I think I am her family member is sort of what I'm going with right now. I don't know if that's where we want to go. I don't know where I fall on that, but I think that sort of makes all this a little bit juicier, because I am totally betraying her. I think I know what's best for her. I'm obsessed with ending the war, or whatever, trying to atone for my punishment.
Are you her brother?
Is that where we're at? Because that's sort of where I think I was at.
I say go for it. None of this dilly-dallying third cousin's business.
Yeah, I'm her brother. Perfect. Then yeah, I am the queen's like totally like fallen brother, exiled, whatever, if we want to go that way, whatever we want to do. But that's why I was exiled to the land of the Hesh. So maybe I also speak the language. So I have been able to sniff out Rourke as sort of this pretender, whatever. Like the governess is like totally out of her element. Like she's from the backwoods. So, I mean, maybe there's a certain wisdom that she has. But I mean, and obviously the book learning of being an archivist historian is pretty cool. But I mean, other than that, like, it's not like she's, gonna be great in this ambush. She might die too. I don't know. Who knows? The Hesh are brutal. They're terrible.
Maybe because of that, you're getting seemingly endless second chances. Like, losing the queen's limbs and all of these things. But it seems like you always are coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, one might say that if the queen almost died when you failed her the last time, and you're arranging for her ambush right now, one might say you have eyes for the throne.
Maybe that's it. I mean, maybe I'm super power hungry. I mean, I'm a pretty terrible person already. I don't know why I wouldn't also be super power hungry.
I feel like you have to ask yourself that question. Am I the baddie?
Yeah, am I the villain? And I think I just may in fact be, which is totally okay. I'm very all right taking on that role.
Wonderful.
But don't worry, if it works out, I'll be the king, and then it'll be cool.
Yeah, how bad can that be?
And the war will be over. It's all for the best.
Right.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. All right. You got that. Thank you. And right on to you, Laurel.
Yep.
Interesting.
What a good one.
When did you know you would never forgive the queen, and why?
That's brutal.
Yeah, I think I've been around the two of you for all of your lives, and I think her judgment with keeping you close is a disappointment to me.
Mm.
And I'm personally disappointed in you.
Of course,
also.
yeah.
For all the things that should upset the queen, that doesn't upset the queen, is like compounding that feeling. And so it's become such a divide that I can't reconcile. That I can't reconcile what the queen is doing with regards to keeping you around, with being able to follow her, and I can't see that as a reasonable thing anymore.
Whoa.
So was the crystallizing moment for that when the queen said, we're going to go on this journey, and he's coming along?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think when the ambush happens, that I think actually that when the ambush happens, it's so like obvious to me that she should never have trusted him. She should never have had him along in the first place. He doesn't respect her autonomy. He doesn't respect her power. That I think is maybe the moment when you've been such a fool, and you can't look after yourself.
Yeah. I have a question. Since you kind of raised the queen, did you raise the both of them? Since they were
I think I've been around both of them all of their lives.
Yeah, I kind of like the raising thing part of it. It makes no sense that wouldn't be the case, at least to some degree. I don't know, or maybe not. It's really up to you, I guess, Laurel. But I have no problem with that our characters are maybe closer than we've sort of realized until just this right moment right now. And for me, I just wrote down that the lady in waiting hates my presence.
Yeah.
That's basically where I'm at with it, where I sort of like totally disappointed you and totally, run out of chances with you.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think what I prefer is that I was set to raise the queen and somebody else raised him.
Makes perfect sense.
And so it was like already this weirdly competitive, raising the kids that might someday rule the kingdom. And then like every mistake he makes is like, I would have raised him better than that. I think, and that sort of explains why there's more distance between you and I than would otherwise be the case.
I love it. That makes perfect sense.
Good.
Great.
Okay. Did you say anything? Like when he showed up, did you verbalize your disappointment?
I think when the queen was younger, that would be like, in a private moment, I would have said something, but because we've grown apart, I wasn't able to make that happen. I wasn't able to let her know that I didn't approve of this choice, and I think that I wasn't able to manufacture that meeting with her is also, I have a sneaking suspicion that she made sure that I couldn't catch her ear at any moment to like talk her down from this.
She keeps avoiding your individual attention.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this whole spider collecting thing may have less to do with the Hesh and more to do with her very complicated family and her anxiety about this. Yeah.
Being royalty is a fun time all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to have a hobby,
Healthy.
Keep yourself busy. All right. The queen thinks more highly than you do. The queen thinks more highly of you than you do of yourself. How do you know this?
Oh, interesting.
It is interesting. I'm contemplating. You know what? I do. Rourke, I would like to hear your answer to this question.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I like seeing you lifted up more than I don't need to be lifted up.
Yeah, yeah.
Queen thinks more highly of me
Yeah,
than
why
I do of
is-
myself.
yeah.
Well, I think the obvious answer is that she thinks that I'm going to be much more helpful in whatever dealings with the Hesh we have. I'm not sure if I want to go with that.
Yeah, what's another answer?
I think the Queen thinks more highly of how I act as a governess than I think I do. I think the Queen probably, like, in her mind, and this is my presumption as Rourke, maybe contrasts Laurel and myself as two kind of figures who raise these children, like looks at like memes like, huh, that wasn't exactly how I was raised. And she might have some like resentment there, and also she might kind of covet that. And I know that she thinks that because she has, when she was younger, she would kind of say things like that offhandedly. And kind of like how when she just kind of mentioned offhandedly to Sean that, but I think she knows that she doesn't remember that it was offhand comments, but that's kind of almost improved my opinion of the Queen in a way that I don't want to admit to myself, that the unintentional flattery does get to me.
It works, right?
Yeah. That she's almost like, oh, I wish you were my governess. And so I sometimes look at Laurel's and I think like, oh yeah, why am I not there? Why do I not have like this closer ear of the Queen? Like, why can't I be that person? I think there's some ambitions there almost, but I do, whenever I start to think that, I realize that I'm thinking out of my place and that I'm actually not that good. And I think of like the last time that one of the children did something horrible, like, I don't know, someone probably like threw an egg at one of the cooks. And I was like, that's awful. Like, how did I let them do that?
Right.
And like, I'm not that good. I don't want these children to be ruling this queendom. And are any of those children yours, Ken?
Yeah, like so many.
So many. I'm mostly raising Ken's children.
That's true. That's true. And most of them are terrible.
Yeah, and so I'm terrified that if anything happens to the Queen and you kind of take that role, that eventually one of these kids that I've messed up is gonna
or do you go the other way where you're like grooming them to control them?
Yeah. I think there's one or two, and I'm of two minds on this.
Yeah,
it's like
right.
I work them up 2 months, but I think also the archivist is kind of.
I mean, you're saying that the Queen believes you're a really great archivist and historian and tutor, right? A great sage or whatever, a great teacher or a pedagogue or however you want to put it. So it seems to me that you are really good. Maybe you're self-defeating in terms of what you think about yourself, but to everyone, including the Queen, outwardly, you're really freaking good at your job. So yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. You know.
So I think that's it for that one. Unless anyone has more questions.
No, that's great.
No, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I love the idea of these royal brats.
Yeah,
that's all my kids. You have a personal connection to the land you are currently traveling through. What makes you want to stay, and why don't you? Well, we did talk about how I had been here before. I mean, we can explore that more, but I actually think I actually might pass because I think this might be cool for Laurel's character actually to answer because we haven't really heard about anything outside of the family or outside of this very confined, Queen serving. What's going on outside? Yeah, with Laurel's character.
Yeah, I think being invited to come back here was quite a shock for me, because I actually had spent some time on the edge of Hesh territory and had grown up here. Not in Hesh territory, but you know, in the kind of villages that they would, you know, raid. And I didn't think the queen knew about that. I didn't really think she knew anything about my background at all. She just knew me as this, you know, increasingly old lady who had lived at court. So I think like it seems impossible that it couldn't at this point that she couldn't know, but I don't know how she learned that about me. And I mean, it's going into this area, I feel increasingly nostalgic for, you know, the flora, the fauna, everything that I recognize. I've been at court for so long. You know, I might have, if I had stayed here, I might have gotten married. I might have had my own children. I might have lived my own life. But I didn't do that. And now I feel like I can't come back, but there's this other mission that's bringing me back to this area. So it's kind of a bittersweet thing to be, you know, feel dragged back here actually.
Yeah. Do any of us know that you have a connection to this? I feel like Ken feels like, you know, he's like, I'm the one who knows this area.
Yeah, if anyone knows, right? It's probably Ken.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
You may. I'm thinking maybe Rourke actually heard me speak about the Hesh in suspiciously personal terms. Like I've seen them. The things that I say about them are not just, you know, the fairy stories that anyone might know. I talk about them in very I've flipped and talked about them in concrete terms. And Rourke has picked that up over the years.
Yeah.
Maybe use like a certain idiom that like I've read in Hesh readings.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Weird.
That you learned on the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, or both. I think an idiom that's extremely specific, but also some descriptions of them that you've never read anywhere before. So where would I get them from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Okay.
All right. You were summoned to a private meeting with the queen once. Why did you feel disappointed afterwards? I thought the queen was going to. So right before this mission, the queen summoned me to her chambers. Summoned me from like a far land. Like I came specifically for this thing.
Big trip.
And she told me who was going to, you know, and she said, like, I've heard that you have learned about your lands and and then told me who was going to be on the journey. And I thought her brother being there was like her offering me an olive branch of like, oh, it's cool. That's cool. I know you used to be together.
My brother will be there. It's cool.
Right. Like I thought that what she was trying to tell me was that, you know, I'm going to reunite you two. And then we got to the end of the meeting and we had talked about like the final logistical elements, and we talked about the sort of the legal claim, and we had talked about like all the practical stuff. And then in the end I was like, and there was just no and to it. There was no my read on what this meeting was all about was totally off. And we got through the whole thing, and I just I felt like this, like she had this ability to give me kind of solace and like help me feel like I had my place again. And I just, nothing. Like she didn't deprive me of it. She just didn't give me this like beautiful gift she could have, by being like, oh, and you'll get to see my brother again. Like nothing like that. Like no recognition.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it just like, and normally we always, because we like grew up in court together, we always like had servants and whatnot around, and this was the only time we were like meeting without the governess, without the lady waiting, without anybody else around. It's like, oh, it's gonna be juicy. No, it was like military type tactical, like not military but political tactical decisions.
Some briefings.
Yeah.
Nice dry briefings.
Such a bummer. So that was that.
What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey? So I think I point out to the queen like different like, oh, this bird is like, this is the word for that bird in Hesh, or like this is that plant. I think I'm mispronouncing a lot of it, which Laurel knows, but no one else does.
Yeah. Would never say.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is like the cultural significance of this river to the Hesh, and like this might help in our negotiations. Like, here's some of the history of this like town we're passing through. So I just tell her like bits and bobs of trivia throughout, and she is eating it up. Like she just keeps asking more, and takes, I think, a lot more stock than even I do in some of the things. Like this is just me saying all the things I'm passionate about that I've been studying, and not realizing necessarily all the diplomatic implications of them. But she has like the gears turning her head like, oh, like this is how we're gonna like take this land, this is how we're gonna negotiate this, because this is important to them here. So she's thinking about it in political terms, like how can I use this information to manipulate them and kind of try to get the things that we need, whereas I'm just like sharing my love for all this history. And do you ever contradict me on any of the things, Laurel, do you think?
I think probably there's a time when you just say something so ridiculously off that I like can't really hold my tongue, and like but that's what I heard from a traveling, minstrel or something, and kind of make it sound secondhand, but can't, especially being having raised children, can't let that particular mistake go.
Can I say what I think I got wrong?
Yeah, I'd love that.
I think there's some sort of bird that the Hesh associate with the nobility in our kingdom. And I think, oh, like they think of this bird as noble and like you're flying and it's beautiful, but you know that bird eats spiders. Like a very negative and violent connotation for the Hesh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
Interesting.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
That's
all righty, here we go.
Nice.
The queen is responsible for the death of someone you loved. Who? What happened? Oh, obviously our parents. She murdered them.
Whoa.
Yeah,
dang, queen.
She came to power. Dang, queen. Married our moms. Married them. Killed them both afterwards. It was bad news. Bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
What happened? Yeah, what happened? What happened? Indeed. I think that
if she came to power through this sort of violent means, I think that it's going to be that. I think that this is sort of a tie that binds this group together. That we all had a hand in this thing. And so, for whatever reasons, that's sort of where I'm going. But maybe I should unspool it. What do you guys think? That's just sort of where I immediately jump to.
I could see that being the thing that bound the reason why she picked us. I mean, we love her, and we were there by her side even when she was doing this awful thing.
I feel like now that you say it, it's like clear in the background of all of this that that's what should.
Then this is the tie that binds us. What happened was that we were her co-conspirators in this coup d'état, where she took over and became the queen. That was when I was unable to protect her, and my shit went awry. I think it became clear that Sean, your character wasn't ready to become her betrothed or take that role yet. After this event, and I think for Rourke, I'm unsure how your character fits into it exactly. But go ahead.
I think I provided like the medical knowledge on how she. I imagine it was like a poisoning, like something slow.
Yeah. So you provided the poison that killed the previous king and queen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Maybe the poison, and then also a way to frame the other country. I guess it's not the best, but
frame the hash for it.
Yeah. But like this is something that only comes from here.
Frame the other
or at least when they ask me, that's what I say.
Yeah. Because you're the one who knows. But
yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. All right.
I like that. Cool.
How is
disposed of the butt
involved?
I don't have an idea, but if other people,
I feel like as the queen's governess, or as the queen's lady in waiting, and like being older than her, that you were probably her parents, like the like her parents' confidant. You were like the person who talked to them and like reported on her and whatnot. And so you probably were very close to her parents and had their ear. I mean, as a servant, but still, like you had intimate connection with them.
Right. Maybe I also delivered the poison.
I mean, yeah, you can take it even a step further. Like you left the door unlocked, so you weren't implicated, and someone else came in with the poison, and it was like, like you were intimately involved. Or I mean, maybe you delivered the poison yourself. I don't know.
And it'd be completely normal for me to be in the royal
exactly,
or whatever.
Right.
Cool.
Wow.
Love this.
We are
boom.
Yeah.
All right.
That turn, all of your characters are now evil. Yep, pick the phone.
Let us continue.
Yeah. Oh no!
No, there it is.
The queen is under attack. You defend her.
I feel like we have just exactly the right amount of information.
Do you defend her?
11:57.
Say again? Yeah. No, I don't. I think. I think she's disappointed me enough times, and like that you're there is kind of a physical reminder to me of the things that her decision making that I can't forgive, and don't liken her as a person, and don't like it seeing in a ruler. So I think I kind of feign being too elderly to fight or being frail, but I know that I really didn't try.
Yeah. Oof. I think when it happens, I know it's by your hand. Ken, like I think I recognize something in it that I'm just like, the only one who knew we were going to be here, the only one who could have arranged this.
Yeah.
And I think like my sense of betrayal from you is so strong. Like it's one of those things where I was like, well, of course, how could we ever, if we've betrayed one queen, why wouldn't you betray another?
There is no law in this house.
And I think I think I end up defending her purely out of like pain and suffering that you betrayed us. Like, I don't think it's that like, oh, I have to defend her because it's what's right. It's that what you did is wrong. And like, I can't, like, we were together once and then you betrayed all of us. And it's just like, that makes me like so mad. And I don't think as like this landed gentry that I have like definitive martial skills, but I think I can claim importance and reason for them to that we're of value and that we would be valuable political hostages. I feel like that is my tactic, is like, we are worth more to you alive than we are dead. But it's all just done out of just like furious anger at this betrayal. Rather than, at this point, my anger sort of eclipsed even my concern for the queen herself. Yeah.
I think at first I know that the queen keeps weapons in her tent, and so I rush into the tent, and as soon as I open the flaps, I see the cage of spiders.
Oh,
yes.
And I see the cup and the piece of paper next to it. And I do a series of flashbacks where I see her teaching the children how to capture a spider. And then I see the bird kind of snapping at the spider and eating it. And then I see the poison that I helped her kill her parents with. And the pieces all kind of fall together in that moment. And I step back outside the tent and I take the queen's horse that pulls her palanquin and I just ride. So I don't
with the queen there or
no,
leaving the
unhitched.
queen behind. Unhitched, yeah. Just to put a final twist of the knife, was the poison that we used to kill the predecessors spider venom?
Oh, it must be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, Ken.
Okay, well, I definitely I think am defending her. I have gone down this sort of road before where I failed her. I am power hungry, but I think at the end of the day, this is like my blood, and like my parents are dead. Like, I think I have a better chance of surviving and prospering if I have someone who's like with me to do that. So I want her to have spider legs. So let's get that going.
Right.
Spider legs.
Right. So you claim
so I defend
all your
her.
arrangement.
Yeah, I arrange this ambush so that she gets spider legs.
Right.
And then we take over. That's the plan.
Awesome.
She's the Darth Maul of this.
Right.
Exactly.
She's the Hesh hybrid.
The Hesh hybrid, exactly.
Is there a moment when you realize that it's not a simple ambush, that they're actually like trying to kill her rather than capture her?
I guess if that is what's happening, there is a moment where I do realize that, and I think in that moment you've ridden away. I'm fighting back to back, maybe, with the guy who I used to have an affair with, a relationship with. So that's nice. I guess
that's nice.
Sort of loved at one point, maybe. And then your character, Laura, what were you doing? You were.
I think I've maybe feign frailty, and then since I know these types of woods, I'm able to kind of slip
you slipped away. That's right. You from pain, frailty, and slipped away. I love it. That's great. So I think I go down fighting. I'm and I'm as it were.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. And that is for the Queen.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That was a delightful and evil and cryptic and twisting story. I love it.
Yeah.
That was so good. I'm thinking about all the twists and turns in that story. It's fantastic.
It was good. Yeah.
But thank you all in chat for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks, chat.
Yeah, thank
great. You had fantastic ideas and lovely hearing from all of you. I'm Sean Nittner. I am found as @Sean Nittner all over the internet. I use he, him pronouns. And the thing that I'm super jazzed about right now a big part of it is this game, because this is going to be coming out soon, but also Agon, we are working on the playtest draft, and I've been writing all these words, typing this text in Agon, and John just sent me last night an early draft that has a lot of those things in beautiful layout and that he's cleaned up, and it's real exciting. So I hope to be making some Agon announcements very soon, and later this month. So that's my jam. How about you, Rourke? What are you up to? What are you excited about right now?
Yeah, I'm Rourke. She, her pronouns. My Twitter is just @RourkeBywater. And mine is actually a kind of a crowdfund for someone. There's a cooperative called Women in Her Bronze. They embroider. It's a woman-owned and operated collective, and two of the sisters from that came and visited my university and gave a talk last year. And one of their husbands was actually just killed by tear gas inhalation. So they're trying to raise money for her and her family as they are grieving and trying to deal with that. So if you could just go, if you can donate. If not, I just tweeted it out, or I'm about to. So if you could retweet that, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. I put it in chat as well. So everybody's got the link. That would be great to help out any way you can. How about you, Ken?
Awesome. Sean, thank you so much for having me on this channel. Thank you everyone in chat for watching. It's been so awesome to have everyone here. This has just been an awesome, enjoyable experience. I've really been wanting to play this game for a little while, and it's definitely delivered. I'm Ken. You can find me on Twitter @Berlingsbeard, BERLINGS Beard. I use he, him pronouns. I'm super jazzed about my podcast, Board Ghost. If you folks like this type of game, this type of sort of free-form, diceless, GM-less game, check out my podcast, Board Ghost, where we sort of dare to entertain the sort of digital ghosts that are out there in the ether, those board ghosts. We play games like Dialect, Final Girl, Skeletons. You got like games like those, so come check us out for sure. And we're definitely trying to have more games like this on our podcast as well. Hopefully that'll be something that'll happening soon. Personally, I am a for-hire game master and freelance content creator in the New York City area. I recently was part of a music and adventure anthology called The Adventure Mixtape, which you can buy on DriveThruRPG. It is about like 4 one-shot adventures, like a fashion show and like a peace meeting agreement and like a zoo that's overrun. And it's like 80 pages of content. It has 4 songs you can play along with the adventures, and it's like $13 or something like that. Maybe even less, I think, with the sale right now for the holidays. So anyways, that's me, and that's what I'm excited about. And thanks so much again, Sean, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Totally my pleasure. It's great. How about you, Laurel?
I'm Laurel Hart. You can find me at KONAHART on Twitter and Instagram. That's it for me.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, chat, as always, it's fantastic. We will be back in 2 days with more For the Queen. So join us with Ash Cheshire, Darcy Ross, and Jen Martin. We're going to be doing our final run. It'll be
Yay, Darcy!
It'll be really good. Yeah. So we'll see if we can compete with all this intrigue.
We have a lot to live up to.
Yeah, we do. All right.